Today we have a Strand Titan build, and I still think Strand is the strongest on a Titan, and I'm going to show you guys why I think that, and I am sure the gameplay will help as well. This is basically a updated version of my first Strand Titan build, and it got even better thanks to some fragments that were locked and even some mods that were disabled at the time. The mods are important as well, so don't miss those. By using this Strand build, you become the ultimate Berserker Titan and just decimate anything that gets in your way, and this is all thanks to the amazing crowd control that the Titan has, and I think it is better than hunters and warlocks, and that's thanks to the infinite woven mail we get as a Titan. And I'm not just talking about picking up an orb of power like the other classes. What makes Strand so good is the insane crowd control from the suspend debuff and the insane damage reduction from woven mail. And that's where this Titan build begins, because we have 5 different ways of proccing woven mail, which means we can stay in the thick of battle because we always have that damage reduction, and we're going to add ways to heal in there as well. We can also give woven mail to our allies through 2 different sources, which just furthers the need to take a Titan with you into difficult content. I have all my Lightfall builds updated on my website for you all, and if you are a channel member, you will see a extra page for you all as well. And it has been updated with builds for you all to read through and copy. So thank you so much for the extra support, I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a channel member and get access to it, the link is down in the pinned comment below. Now everything we are going to do with this Titan build stems from the new exotic boots we got this season called Abeyant Leap, and it does more than you think it does. If you complete the legendary campaign on Titan, you get these bad boys for free, so make sure to do that if you don't have them. This exotic allows our barricade cast to spawn 2 additional projectiles that tracks targets more aggressively and travels farther. So we have a safe way to suspend an entire room with just 1 ability. Then we also get woven mail when we suspend a target. So a free 60% damage reduction, and the cool thing about this is that our shackle grenade, which also suspends enemies, will proc woven mail for us, since we have this exotic on. I'm not sure how many know about that because I asked a few people and at least half didn't know. So now our barricade gives us woven mail and our grenade gives us woven mail. Also, if it is a boss that does not suspend, it still procs woven mail even if you can't see the suspend happen. So that is really nice on bosses. I was in the Mars Battleground Nightfall and this saved my life on the boss multiple times. So now we have 2 ways to instantly proc woven mail just from our exotic, and then we have 2 ways from the aspect. That is Into the Fray, which states destroying a tangle or casting your super grants woven mail. This is for you and your allies. Also, when you shoot this tangle or throw it and it gets destroyed, it will send out this green pulse wave 3 times. This actually resets woven mail back to 10 seconds, and it also heals us for about 10 HP per pulse. So now we're getting woven mail for about 13 to 14 seconds, and we can add a bit of extra healing to ourselves and allies. And trust me, 30 HP might not seem like a lot, but it will for sure help in situations, especially to jumpstart your recovery back. Our 5th and final way, which is what the hunters and warlocks use, is the fragment threat of warding. When we pick up an orb of power, we also get woven mail. This could be traded out technically, but it does allow for the build to be played a bit more recklessly because it means you don't always have to be using ability every 10 seconds. This just gives you more freedom to slay out without worrying about losing woven mail, and thanks to our mods, we will always have orbs of power available. So as I just outlined, Titans have the strongest survivability when it comes to Strand, and then they have the safest suspend method that can handle an entire room on just 1 barricade cast. And that's thanks to our 2nd aspect, Dringer's Lash, and combined with the exotic to make that barricade suspend everything for us. For our other 3 fragments, they're going to play right into our abilities, so we can always have them available. And with this setup and the mod setup that we're going to go over, you will never not have your class ability or grenade. We're going to take Threat of Mind, so we get class ability energy back for defeating suspended targets, which we're always doing. Next, we take Threat of Generation, so we get grenade energy for dealing damage, and it's very easy to do this when everything is just suspended, and we have woven mail for those few enemies that might not be. And for the last fragment, we have Threat of Fury, which is picking up a tangle and throwing it at enemies grants melee energy. So we're getting our melee back quickly through this source and also through the aspect Into the Fray that states while we have woven mail, our melee regeneration rate is greatly increased. And our melee actually plays an important role too, because since we're right in the face of enemies, we can easily hit them with it. We have 3 charges of our Frenzy Blade, and it also severs targets that we hit, which means their damage output is significantly reduced. When you see me fight the boss, I will be right underneath him, and his stomp will literally only take like 10 HP from us, even when I am this underleveled in here. This is because we have the woven mail and reduced his damage from our melee ability and severed him. So if you have woven mail up and have severed the target that you're fighting like a champion or a boss, you become a beast. For your stats, as always, aim for 100 resilience and high discipline. Now since we do have those 3 charges of our melee, that leads us into our mods, and we have it set up to help our abilities a lot and our weapon of choice as well. So for the weapon mods, if you're using something else like, I don't know, let's say 4th Horseman, then you would just change the weapon mods to match the weapon that you're using. Doesn't my Titan look freaking sweet? Now over here on the helmet we have Void siphon because I was using void, secondary, and heavy. And then we also have stasis siphon for my stasis shotgun that I was using. We want to spawn those orbs as much as possible. I had special ammo finder on just to keep ammo in that shotgun for me. Impact induction on the gauntlets, causing damage with a melee attack, reduces your grenade cooldown. Focusing strike grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. So every melee attack that we swing on an enemy, we're getting class ability and we're getting grenade energy back. Both of those for one melee swing. And remember, you have 3 charges of that melee and it comes back very quickly because of the woven mail buff that gives us melee energy and throwing tangles that gives us melee energy. And we also have bolstering detonation, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. For our chest piece, the only damage reduction I had with this was concussive dampener. I had void reserves for my heavy and I had stasis reserves for my special weapon. Now on the boots, we're going to take stasis weapon surge. I have this stacked twice, so I do 17% more damage with the shotgun that I was personally using. So you would change that for whatever main weapon you're using. And then for the other mod, we have recuperation, replenish health each time you pick up an orb of power. And this is important because when we're in the thick of things, this is your healing on top of your suspend and your damage reduction from woven mail. So Reaper is really nice with this. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. So now when we proc that class ability and we suspend those enemies, our first kill that we get gens an orb, whether with our shotgun or our heavy. There's an instant orb right there. And then if you're fast enough and you get that double kill with your void or your stasis siphon, you're generating a second orb on the second enemy that you kill. So basically back-to-back orbs. So that's really nice because that's proccing recuperation and keeping us healed up. It's also proccing our stasis weapon surges, and we're making that last longer with time dilation. Your decaying armor charge has a longer duration, so now every charge we get lasts 15 seconds instead of 10. We also have bomber on reduced grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So when we pop that class ability, we're getting that 20% grenade back instantly. So as you can see, the arms and the class item is about recycling those abilities, and then we have that Reaper and the harmonic siphon combo that spawns 2 orbs back to back on enemies that you kill. Reaper is such a strong perk for just generating an orb on demand for only 3 energy, so I highly recommend you guys use it. Now for our artifact mod, really the only important thing here is volatile flow. So when we pick up that orb of power, we also gain volatile rounds on our void weapons. You can take the authorized mods grenades, mods void, mods strand, depending on like what weapons and type you're using, but I do like grenades since those are feeding into our grenade ability stuff. If you happen to be using a tangle weapon, then of course untangler and threaded blast is great. And then I still do like counterweave. When you are a member of your fire team stun and defeats a champion, you gain energy for your least charge strand ability. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. This is the Strand Titan perfected basically, and it is by far the most tanky and it has the best crowd control with ease of use. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.